And it goes a little something like
Welcome to Go Tutorials. You can watch videos about education, tutorials, and more. Please subscribe, comment down below, and click the notification bell for more updates. Applying programming skills in a second language, Pseudocodes, presented by Group 2 Grade 12 ICT Computer Programming students.
Pseudocode is an informal high-level description of the operating principle of a computer program or other algorithm. It uses the structural conventions of a normal programming language, but is intended for human reading rather than machine reading. Pseudocode typically omits details that are essential for machine understanding of the algorithm, such as variable declarations, system-specific code and some subroutines. The programming language is augmented with natural language description details, where convenient, or with compact mathematical notation. The purpose of using pseudocode is that it is easier for people to understand than conventional programming language code, and that it is an efficient and environment-independent description of the key principles of an algorithm. It is commonly used in textbooks and scientific publications that are documenting various algorithms, and also in planning of computer program development, for sketching out the structure of the program before the actual coding takes place. No standard for pseudocode syntax exists, as a program in pseudocode is not an executable program. Pseudocode resembles, but should not be confused with skeleton programs which can be compiled without errors. Flowcharts, Draken charts and unified modeling language (UML) charts can be thought of as a graphical alternative to pseudocode, but are more spacious on paper. Languages such as Hygge bridge the gap between pseudocode and code written on programming languages. Its main use is to introduce students to high-level languages through use of this hybrid language. Textbooks and scientific publications related to computer science and numerical computation often use pseudocode in description of algorithms, so that all programmers can understand them, even if they do not all know the same programming languages. In textbooks, there is usually an accompanying introduction explaining the particular conventions in use. The level of detail of the pseudocode may in some cases approach that of formalized general-purpose languages. A programmer who needs to implement a specific algorithm, especially an unfamiliar one, will often start with a pseudocode description, and then translate that description into the target programming language and modify it to interact correctly with the rest of the program. Programmers may also start a project by sketching out the code in pseudocode on paper before writing it in its actual language, as a top-down structuring approach, with a process of steps to be followed as a refinement. As the name suggests, pseudocode generally does not actually obey the syntax rules of any particular language. There is no systematic standard form, although any particular writer will generally borrow style and syntax. For example, control structures from some conventional programming language. Popular syntax sources include Fortran, Pascal, BASIC, C, C++, Java, Lisp, and ALGOL. Variable declarations are typically omitted. Function calls and blocks of code, such as code contained within a loop, are often replaced by a one-line natural language sentence. Depending on the writer, pseudocode may therefore vary widely in style, from a near-exact imitation of a real programming language at one extreme, to a description approaching formatted prose at the other.
Pseudocode objectives. Use pseudocode in a solving problem. And 2. Code using pseudocodes. Pseudocode used to describe processes using natural language. Syntax is a set of rules that defines the combinations of symbols that are considered to be a correctly structured document or fragment in that language. Task is a basic unit of programming that an operating system controls, depending on how the operating system defines a task in its design. This unit of programming may be an entire program or each successive invocation of a program. Variable is a value that can change depending on conditions or information passed to the program. Typically, a program consists of instructions that tells the computer what to do and data that the program uses when it is running. What is pseudocodes? A description of an algorithm or a computer programming using natural language. This language is commonly used in planning out a structure of a program or system, like the blueprint for creating a house or a building, a simple way of writing programming code in English. It uses short phrases to write code for programs before you actually create it in a specific language. Makes creating programs easier. Programs can be complex and long. Preparation is the key. Allows you to translate your statements into any language. Example of pseudocodes. 1. Compute the area of rectangle, get the length L and width W. Compute the area equals length times width. Display the area. Number 2. Compute the perimeter of a rectangle. Enter length L, enter the width W. Compute the perimeter. 2 multiplied by length plus 2 multiplied by width. Display the perimeter of a rectangle. Remember, writing basic pseudocode is not like writing an actual coding language. It cannot be compiled or run like a regular program. Pseudocode can be written how you want. But some companies use specific pseudocode syntax to keep everyone in the company on the same page. Syntax is a set of rules on how to use and organize statements in a programming language. By adhering to specific syntax, everyone in the company can read and understand the flow of a program. This becomes cost-effective and there is less time spent finding and correcting errors. Practice pseudocode. Choose a task. Choose a simple task to accomplish with your program. You want this to be complex enough to require multiple steps while still being relatively simple to accomplish. Write a pseudocode. When writing the code, remember the 4 guidelines. 1. The language should be universal. 2. Limit each line to one task or action. 3. Capitalize all keywords, even if not at the beginning of a sentence. 4. Indent loops, like if or then statements. Don't forget to start with start program and end with end program, and test your code. The act of testing the ideas you have written will help you to edit your work more accurately later. Creating a pseudocode for a program makes the task easier because it foresees processes and points of decision. Pseudocodes is ideal for explaining the processes of the program to be created. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next videos. If you are not subscribed yet to this channel, may I ask you to please subscribe and tap on the notification bell and choose to be notified in all videos that we are going to upload only here at Go Tutorials. God bless everyone. Bye bye.
And it goes a little something like